Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. A very good afternoon to all the viewers. I am Hiral Dadia. Clearly, if you go to see, Nifty is actually facing stiff resistance as the wait for all-time high gets absolutely longer. If you see in terms of Nifty 50 as well, currently, we did hit a high of 18,886.60, so just a miss by a single point. And from there, we've again declined almost near the day's lowest levels now. We are below those 18,800 levels. In the first half of the trading session, it did seem that 18,800 is coming in as a strong support, but those levels are also broken right now, and we hit a low of 18,769. Similarly, if you see in terms of Bank Nifty, overall, yes, we did scale above those 44,000 levels, but absolutely markets have not been able to sustain at those levels, and we have seen profit booking that has come in the last hour of trade. Joining us on the show to discuss more as to what's in store is Bhavin Mehta, VP Derivative Strategist at Dolat Securities. Bhavin, good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon.
Bhavin, my first question coming to you is clearly, you are seeing profit booking at higher levels. There is absolute resistance that the markets have been facing as well. And all highs have been on life high on Nifty 50, and we're just a point away, at least on an intraday basis in today's session. What is it that you're picking up? Because Wix was absolutely stable, but now if you go to see yesterday's session itself, you've seen a slight up move by around 1.5% today as well. There is volatility, and you have the PCROI, which is once again moved above the one mark.
Yeah, so I agree that we are looking at some amount of uptick on the volatility part. But having said that, if you look at last couple of trading session, what has happened actually on the derivative space is basically your broader market indices. So number of stocks, if you look at on a F&O band names, they are significantly higher. We have seen good amount of rally on the mid cap and small cap side of the market. But if you look at the large cap fronts, they have clearly seen underperformance. Bank Nifty particularly, if you look at, it's almost flat for this particular series. So what we are trying to picture out here is that we have seen a very strong rally in the broader market indices over last 2 to 3 months. But what is lacking in the markets right now is the strength in the key large cap stocks. So the moment we find the strength in the key large cap names, specifically the Nifty 50 names, there is high possibility that we are likely to hit an all-time high. And having said that, if you look at even in today's market, we are actually outperforming most of your emerging market players. So we have outperformed big time versus Hong Kong, China over a period of time. And even today, when global cues are slightly on a negative side, if you look at European markets as well, we have done quite well comparing that we are down just close to about 80 to 90 odd points on Nifty.
Right. So similarly, if you see in terms of Bank Nifty as well, or let's say let's take a pause on Bank Nifty. Clearly, if you see in terms of expiry this month, it is going to be a truncated week. Where is the focus going to be? Because overall, I was just reading one of the reports that Dolat has come up with is clearly indicating that it's going to be crucial to see if costs continue to see long aggression, given in the uptick in AUMs. What would this actually mean?
So basically, what we are looking at is, over last 2 to 3 months, the our book domestic side, our book has witnessed an uptick on the AUM front. Domestic institutional investors are usually short on the single stock futures, and it will be crucial that so over last couple of series, what we are looking at is a roll cost anywhere in the range of 70 to 80 bips on a higher side. Many of the mid cap and small cap names have been significantly above 80 bips on the roll cost front. So now this particular series, it will be very crucial with kind of increased AUM that we have seen on the arbitrage side of the market. Whether this roll cost, which is close to about today around 65 odd bips, continues to stay at this level towards an expiry, which will definitely suggest that your long aggression is still there. I'm assuming that your rules towards end of this expiry will be again market-wide rules should be closer to 90 to 93 or percent, which implies that your positioning, which was taken on a long side over last couple of series, is getting rolled into the next series. So if there is an aggression on the roll cost front, then I think that overall long setup continues to remain. But if we see a roll cost moving lower, that will imply that participants are either not that aggressive while rolling their position to the next series, or probably looking to liquidate.
Right. So overall, that's what Nifty. If you look at Bank Nifty, yesterday's session we ended above the 20-day EMA. Today it seems we are below that right now. However, there is strong support coming in at 43,200 as well, right? How are you looking at Bank Nifty from here on? Because again, the participation from Bank Nifty is going to be absolutely crucial as well.
Yeah. So if you look at today's data point so far, I mean, we have not come to an end of the session, but Bank Nifty opened interest despite the kind of profit booking that we have seen. On an index front, the OI is close to about 1% plus minus, which is not significant. At the same time, stock specific OI, if you look at, hello.
Yes, go on, Bhavin.
Yeah. So if you look at stock specific open interest on Bank Nifty, few of the constitution while have seen a good amount of sell off. So for example, RBL Bank down close to about 3%, good amount of OI addition, similar with IIB or IDFC First Bank. But none of your large cap banks, be it HDFC, ICICI, Axis or Kotak Mahindra Bank, has seen any big disappointment. In fact, if you look at HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank, both continues to outperform in trade today. So sense is that there is some amount of churn between what we were initially talking about, is that broader markets have rallied. Now it's probably the time for large cap to perform at least for some time before see a second leg of rally coming up for the mid cap or a broader market indices.
Right. So if you look at stock specific action from here on, Bhavin, let's see, what's moving in trade today. Overall, a lot of momentum that we are seeing specifically with regards to names like HDFC Bank, Tata Steel, L&T. These are the top gainers. But what is the derivative data indicating as a strategy for these names?
So coming to stocks like L&T, we are extremely positive on this particular counter. Even today, the stock is outperforming. So view is that stocks like HDFC Bank, L&T for next couple of trading session, at least towards first half of the July series, should continue to do well. However, on other end of the spectrum, we have something like IT. If you look at the large cap names from the IT, while mid cap and small cap has done a fabulous job in this particular series. The large cap IT names continue to lack any kind of momentum on an upside. At the same time, today we are looking at some amount of short development, specifically in stocks like Infosys. So Infosys, we have seen almost like 15% OI addition with stock moving lower, alongside coal OI shifting to lower strike of 1300. So something to watch out on the IT names in particular, where we believe some amount of pain could be there in very short term.
Right, so some amount of pain that could be there in the short term in terms of the names that we discussed so far. Apart from that, let's look at few of the other counters in trade today. Names like IDBI Bank. Let's quickly pull up that one. If you see an IDFC first, AB Capital and RBL, these are few of the names where you're seeing some bearish bets that are being taken. What should the strategy be?
Okay, so coming to IDFC First Bank first, so we have spoken about Bank Nifty. So what is actually happening over a period of time is that your IDFC First Bank for this particular series is almost up by close to about 14 odd points. Versus this, if you compare some of the large cap names, they will be up between 2 to 4%. So eventually, we are looking at stock breaking down below 80 level. 80 level was most crucial for this particular stock, where we have seen good amount of put writing initially over last 3-4 trading session when we had seen a sharp up move. So now with the stock breaking below 80 kind of a range, the next level you will like to watch out on the downside would be 72. So my sense is that till the time it do not regain, or I assume that if it is not able to retrace back to 80 plus kind of close, maybe tomorrow after a kind of sell-off that we have seen, there is a possibility that this stock could continue to remain under pressure. Aditya Birla Capital, as you have pointed out, so stock continues to have a strong resistance around this range of 190 to 200. We have seen some amount of reversal in trade today, but I would watch out over next couple of trading sessions before taking a final call on this particular name.
Right. Moving on, let's quickly look at what's happening with the Lupin in trade today. There is a short build-up that we are seeing with regards to where Lupin goes after the strong up move that we saw in yesterday's session. What would you look? How would you look at a Lupin?
Yeah, so Lupin, particularly if you look at the stock has been consolidating in range for quite some time, and post yesterday's action, we have seen some amount of cool off. My sense is that till the time we now do not clear yesterday's high or maybe 870 kind of range on a closing basis, there is a possibility that stock may see consolidation between range of 830-35 on the downside to about 875 on the upside. And the thing about these names, particularly the pharma names, many of them which have seen a very good amount of sell-off over previous couple of months, is that at each and every levels you will find some or other supply coming in. So there won't be any clear trade, directional trade that you would like to play on this name. You will have to play with stop loss or targets because at each and every level there could be a sudden burst of sell-off that you may see at a higher level, given a good amount of positioning that is already there in this particular counters.
Right. How are you looking at India Cement, Bhavin?
Again, this name has been ours over quite some time now. Stock continues to move frequently in and out of F&O band. And what we have seen in this particular names is that taking a trade or a positioning in this remains a bit of challenge. However, if you look at on a slightly longer term basis, if the stock moves closer to level of 190 to 200 range, historically has been a very good buy, a decent buy, you can say, in that particular region. At the same time, anything towards 240, look to pair the exposure. Overall, it continues to remain in the range bound manner.
Right. So that's with regards to where India Cement goes. A few of the other stocks which are seeing some long positions in today's session is the likes of a BEL. What should the strategy be? Because again, the open interest addition is also pretty strong on this counter.
Yeah. So with respect to Bharat Electronics, overall view continues to remain positive. What we are also looking at in this particular counter is good amount of OI addition at close to about 127 strike price of the call option. So overall sense is that there is a high probability that this stock eventually should move closer to 130, 135 region. Possibly 120 should act as a stoppers for all the long trades.
Okay. And if you have to look at the likes of a Balrampur Chini, what should the strategy be? Because all the sugar stocks are up in trade today. This is one of the F&O participants as well.
Yeah, so there are very couple, a few names that we have seen stock moving higher. Notably, if you look at the top 10 names from the F&O space where good amount of OI addition has been added in trade today, three names are particularly getting reflected, which is Balrampur Chini, Divis Lab, and Green. So our view on Balrampur Chini is that possible move closer to 420-25 region is very much likely. However, around that particular range, one should look to break out, look to book profit unless stock provides a breakout above a level of 425. At the same time, on downside, anything below 390 remains definitely a good buy in terms of this particular name.
Right. Bhavin, apart from the names that we've already discussed, any other strategy that you would want to recommend to a viewer from tomorrow's trade perspective?
Yeah, so our sense is that tomorrow IT sector should once again come back into the focus. Our sense is that if this particular uh, 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 I mean, the broader market indices, which has already witnessed a strong rally, if the last dip do not catch up, that will imply some amount of pressure going forward. And these are the names that will be coming up with the numbers in the early part of July. So definitely a pre-build up kind of a move definitely should be seen on this particular name. However, given this, stock like Infosys, where good amount of OI has already been observed on a short side, we believe that till the time level of 1310 is not crossed, your trade ideally should be on a short side. Couple of levels on a downside to watch out will be 1240 to 1250 on a downside, and if that cracks, we are looking at a fresh low coming up for this particular name. On other hand, L&T, which we have already mentioned, where we are kind of positive. Today's stock is almost quoting close to an all-time high. Believe that up move can continue in this particular name. Look to long, specifically if there is any pull off, even during an intraday trades in this particular company.
Right. So lots to watch out for. IT as a pack will be in focus. In fact, this morning itself, we were talking about the sector taking cues from what's happening with the deal TCS1. Plus, you have the Wipro buyback, which started today. You have Accenture, which will be reporting numbers as well in today's session. So there could be some bit of a sentimental impact coming in there as well. Thank you, Bhavin, so much for joining us on the show and sharing those views. But clearly, we have seen the profit booking yet again in today's session. We've ended below those 18,800 levels already. And you have Bank Nifty, which has slightly managed to outperform the benchmark indices, but still ended in the negative. A lot of stock specific action is what we've seen, and the advanced decline ratio pretty much in favor of the bears. It is going to be an interesting expiry. It is going to be a truncated expiry as well, as we were discussing. So the underlying, there could be profit booking that could continue as well. But what levels does this actually take Nifty and Bank Nifty to is going to be crucial. And the IT pack continues to remain in focus as well. That's all that we have on this session. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and lots more lined up on BQ Prime. Please stay tuned.